This stitch pattern is also the last section of the Rustling Leaves blanket crochet along. I will link all the information about this free blanket pattern in the description below. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to work the spike leaf stitch. I promise you it is much more easier than it looks. This is also the stitch that is used in the last section of the Rustling Leaves blanket cal, so if you are here because of the cal, so yeah, you're in the last section. So just follow the instructions and use this video for the repeat section. And if you're here not because of the cal, so the stitch is a repetition of 15 chains. So you will start by chain a multiple of 15 chains and then add 2 more chains for the turning chain. And we will start by working 1 double crochet into each of the chains across, and we will start by working into the 3rd chain of the hook. So again, if you're working the Rustling Leaves blanket cal, so just work the first round of DC as instructed in the pattern. So again, work 1 double crochet stitch in each of the chains, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so to start row 2 or round 2 if you're making the rustling blanket, we will start with working double crochet. Now if you're working the blanket, just start the round as instructed in the pattern, and then we will start the repeat section inside the brackets. So work the start of the corner, and then when you reach the brackets, this is the pattern that I'm going to show you. Double crochet stitches. I like to start the first double crochet with a stacked single crochet. You can either work a chain 3 and count it as a double crochet, or work a chain 2 and then a double crochet into the first stitch, but I'm going to show you how to work the stacked single crochet. So we are not chaining 1, we are just inserting the hook into the stitch, yarning over and pulling up a loop. Then we are yarning over and pulling the yarn through the 2 loops as we worked a single crochet. Now we will work into the left leg of the front stitch. You can see that I'm inserting the hook into the side of this leg without chaining, then yarning over and pulling the loop back, and again I'm yarning over and pulling the yarn through 2 loops. So I have 2 single crochet stacked on each other. So this is the first double crochet. Now I'm going to work a double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So in this row we are going to make the first space for the leaf stitch for the middle leaf. Okay, so after you worked 6 double crochet stitches, we are going to work a double crochet 2 together into the next 2 stitches. So yarn over, insert the hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over again and pull the yarn through only 2 loops, then repeat into the next stitch, now yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. And now to make the space for the leaf, we will chain 1, but we are not skipping any stitches. So we are walking directly into the next stitch. So work 7 stitches, 7 double crochet stitches. Okay, so this is the repeat section for this stitch. It is worked again over 15 stitches. I'm going to repeat it one more time. So we are working 6 double crochet stitches, okay, so I have this 7 double crochet and then another 6 double crochet for the start of the next repetition. Then I'm going to work a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, chaining 1, and without skipping a stitch, working another 7 double crochet stitches. Okay, so just repeat this pattern to the end of the row, and we'll continue to row 3, sorry. Row 3 or round 3 if you're making the blanket. If you're making the blanket, just remember that this tutorial is relevant to the instructions that inside the brackets. So again, we are starting with working a double crochet into the first 3 stitches. So I'm starting with a stacked single crochet in the first stitch, and then a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and now we are making the spaces for the first leaf and the third leaf of the spike leaf stitch. So we are working a double crochet together into the next 2 stitches, then we are chaining 1, and again we are not skipping stitches here, and we're going to work over the next 5 stitches a double crochet into each stitch, including the chain 1 space. So we are working a double crochet into the next 2 double crochet stitches, then into the chain 1 space, and into the next 2 stitches, which are the double crochet 2 together and the double crochet. And now we will make the next chain 1 space. So we are chaining 1, and again we are not skipping a stitch. We are working a double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches, and then we finish the repetition with a double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Okay, so this is the repeat section. You can see the 3 spaces that we are going to work later the spike leaf stitch into. So I will repeat one more time. We are starting the repeat section by working 3 double crochet stitches, then we are working a double crochet 2 together over the next 2 stitches, then chaining 1 and not skipping any stitch, and working 5 double crochet stitches into the next 2 double crochet stitches, then into the chain 1 space and into the double crochet 2 together from the previous row and into the next double crochet stitch. So we have 5 double crochet stitches and we are not skipping the chain 1 space. Now we are chaining 1 again and working a double crochet together into the next 2 stitches without skipping a stitch. And then to finish the repetition, we are working double crochet stitches into the next 3 stitches. So continue working and I will meet you in row 4. Okay, so row 4 is simply a row of double crochet stitches all across. We are going to work double crochet into each of the stitches, including the chain 1 spaces, so make sure not to skip them. Now if you're working the Rustling Leaves blanket, just work the corners as instructed and then work a double crochet in each of the stitches around. So again, I'm going to show it pretty quickly. I'm starting with a stacked single crochet as my first double crochet stitch, and then I'm going to work a double crochet in each of the stitches, both double crochet and double crochet 2 together, and also into every chain 1 space. So work this row and then change color at the end of the row. We will start to make the spike leaf stitch in row 5. Before you finish the last stitch of the row, if you want to change color, so don't work the last loop and finish the last loop with your next color. This way it won't show. And now we will turn and start row 5, and again for the rustling blanket, please work only what is written inside the brackets. So you start the round with working as instructed in the pattern, and then the stitch is for the brackets repetition. So this is a row of single crochet, so we are starting by chaining 1, which doesn't count as a stitch. And now we will work a single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. Okay, so now we finish just before the stitch that is above the middle chain 1 space, and we are going to work the spike leaf stitch. So the spike leaf stitch is made by crocheting 3 puff stitches together. So we are going to work a puff stitch into each of the spaces and then assembly them together. So it's like 3 puff stitch together stitch. So we are working by starting to yarn over, inserting the hook into the first chain 1 space, then yarning over and pulling up a loop. Now it's really important to work this stitch loosely so it won't pull your work, and pull the loop all the way to the height of your single crochet stitch row, and we will repeat 3 times. So this is a puff stitch of 3 repetitions, and now we will have 7 loops on our hook, and we are moving on. We are not pulling the yarn through these loops. We are keeping them on the hook, and we are moving on to the next space. So yarn over and hold the loops with your fingers, insert the hook into the second chain 1 space, which is 3 rows below, and then we will repeat 2 more times. We are doing 3 repetitions in each space and trying to keep the yarn as loose as we can so it won't squish our row. And now we will have 13 loops on our hook. And now we are moving on to the third chain 1 space, repeating, yarning over, pulling up a loop, and again pull the loop to the same height and keep your work straight, and repeat 2 more times. And now we have 19 loops on our hook, and very carefully we are yarning over, securing the loops and pulling the yarn through all 19 loops. Now to finish the stitch we are chaining 1, so the stitch is the stitch counts as 2 stitches. We have the top of the leaf stitch and then the closing chain 1, and then we are chaining 1 again and skipping the 2 stitches that are behind the left leaf, and we will walk 5 single crochet stitches starting into the next double crochet, which is right above the left chain 1 space. So walk 5 single crochet stitches to finish this repetition. Now I will work another repetition for this stitch pattern. So again we are starting by working 7 single crochet stitches. Now that we reached the stitch right before the one that is above the middle space, we are working the first puff stitch into the first chain 1 space. So remember to work a 3 repetition puff stitch, and we are not closing it. And now, keeping the loops on our hook, we are moving on to the middle one, trying to work it as loose as you can and keeping the fabric straight. And keep securing the loops with your index finger, then yarn over and pull the yarn through all 19 loops, then close the stitch with a chain 1, work another chain 1, and then finish the repetition with 5 single crochet stitches, starting in the stitch that is right above the left chain 1 space. Okay, so continue your row and I will meet you at the next row. Make sure to change color at the end of this row to the same color of the rest of the pattern. So now for row 6 we are going to work a single crochet into the front loop of each stitch across. So we'll start by chaining 1 and working a single crochet into the front loop. Okay, this is the front loop up. This is the front loop. So work into the next 5 stitches. Okay, so to work row 6, we are chaining 1 and we will work a single crochet into the front loop of each of the stitches across. So work a front loop single crochet into the next 5 stitches. And now we reached the 2 chain spaces, so we are going to work into the front loop of each of the chains. So just work into the front loop. And then we will work into the front loop of the top of the leaf stitch. And then continue working front loop single crochet into each of the single crochet stitches again until you reach the next leaf stitch and the following chains. And again work into the front loop of the next 2 chains. And into the top of the flower of the leaf stitch. Okay, so continue working the rest of the row. And this is how it looks on the right side. So you can use this stitch for any project you'd like. And if you are making the Rustling Leaves blanket, please continue working the next 2 rounds, which are double crochet round and another single crochet front loop round. All the instructions are available on my blog, made by Guti. I will link everything below, including all the information about the CAL I was talking about. And that's it. Thank you for watching.